the Honorable Representative Grace Meng.
Congresswoman Meng is one of the hardest working members of Congress.
We, as an Asian American community, can not only come out when the racism is aimed at us, we have to come out when any other community is hurt.
You just know she's got that fire in the belly. The fire in the belly to do right by you and everyone.
She's been an unapologetic fighter for her constituents. She's an amazing community advocate. As the youth would say, she's a boss.
I was born and raised in Queens, New York. I've been here my whole life. My parents were immigrants who came to this country in the early 70s. They worked in a restaurant for most of my childhood and later on owned their own restaurant. In my childhood and throughout school, I was actually a really shy kid. And in school, I never took political science classes. I never even ran for student government. So I didn't do anything that one would expect if you were to want to run for office. I think I started out volunteering in politics by helping a few candidates here and there, give out flyers on the streets. And one time I was doing that for an Asian candidate in the middle of Queens, in the middle of Flushing, New York. And someone threw the flyer back at me at my feet and said, "We're never going to elect an Asian here in Queens." And I was really shocked and even a little hurt that someone, in this day and age would say that or would think that. And so it really reminded me how much more our voices needed to be heard in the halls of government. I had an opportunity to run for the local state legislature, and I didn't make it the first time. 2 years later, I tried again, and I was there a few years when the congressional seat opened up, and a few people, including my husband, encouraged me to go for it. And so this was all unexpected and unplanned. I always tell, especially young people, to be prepared and to be ready because you never know where the next door of opportunity may open up for you.
Congresswoman Meng has been a steadfast champion for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander community since she arrived in Congress. Our work over the last couple of years, especially in the context of the pandemic, has really been remarkable. Starting in the very beginning, when we knew that anti-Asian racism was starting to crop up around the country, she led a resolution in the House of Representatives that passed, and it denounced the violence and the racism that we were seeing. And I know for a fact she was engaging her colleagues in Congress to really make sure they understood the depth of the problem.
Your president and your party and your colleagues can talk about issues with any other country that you want. But you don't have to do it by putting a bullseye on the back of Asian Americans across this country, on our grandparents, on our kids. This hearing was to address the hurt and pain of our community and to find solutions, and we will not let you take our voice away from us.
Her voice is incredibly authentic. There's so much power behind that. Just speaking from the heart with passion and knowledge and absolute determination, I think is something very, very inspirational.
Fast forward to last year, the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which was signed into law by President Biden, represents a marked step forward in terms of addressing the anti-Asian racism from a full government response.
We don't have enough services to take care of people's mental health, whether it's because of a stigma, whether it's because of lack of multilingual resources or lack of qualified and multilingual experts and staff. There's so many ways to better invest in the infrastructure.
Most recently, a bill was recently signed into law by President Biden that establishes a commission to study the creation of a Smithsonian Asian Pacific American History Museum. That's a huge victory for us. And we know it'll take some time. It'll be a marathon. But Congresswoman Meng led that charge. And so we owe a lot to her for that.
I think it really falls on our shoulders to think of ways that we can understand our community better, strengthen our own community, but also work to expand our relationship and build bridges to lift each other up, to lift all of our communities up. I think one day we will look back and see this as a time where much progress was made. I am very confident and hopeful that that will be the story one day.